Racing. Today we're actually headed up to Redshift in Idaho Falls, Idaho to go ahead and put our car back on the dyno. But it's a couple hour drive, so we'll see you again soon. Alright, so we are now here at Redshift. Looks like they've got a nice little puddle going on that we get to go through. But we're here and we're going to see what it does. Now, I'm going to head inside and let's get it on the rollers. Start up, settle her in.
I didn't think I went through the side.
Okay, so we're back here. We just got done with the dyno earlier today. We're just kind of going to go over the results real quick. From the looks of it, we were 194.6 before. We actually put down 213.9, so we gained almost 20 horsepower. And then on top of that, we also gained about 14 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I'll go ahead and after this, I'll post the dyno sheet on it so you can kind of get a look at it. Hopefully you can see it. Now, if you look at it, our correction factor was the same between the both days. We were actually running pretty close to the same temperatures. The humidity was a little bit different between the two, but not enough to actually alter the barometric pressure too much, which is what you use to actually calculate and tune in the dyno to make sure it's reading accurately. But our correction factor was a 1.2. Again, we're high elevation. That's normal for us to be around that. most dynos in most areas are about 1.15 to about 1.25. So we're kind of right there in that middle area. We went ahead though and everything ran pretty good. That was higher than we were expecting to have gained. All we've done from the previous one was the engines actually pull timing about 4,000 RPM. The exhaust cam actually pulls a couple degrees of timing. That is a factory default. And the reason Mazda had done that was to get the engine to stop detonating and to just kind of reduce that little bit of knock that was right there. We went ahead and we found with the Corksport header, we could actually eliminate that. And so we actually went through, we eliminated that, but we never actually threw it on the dyno after that point. But that was a huge thing for us to actually look at. You'll notice that our previous one, you'll notice that the dyno's going across around a little after 4,000, about 4,200. You'll see our torque dip and you'll also see our horsepower dip. And that right there is where that exhaust cam was pulling back a couple degrees before. Now we went ahead, obviously that's been fixed. You look at the dyno sheet this time, it's nice and smooth. You'll see a little bit of a dip, but it's not nearly as dramatic as what it was before. So that kind of shows what that kind of did when we made that fix, since we never tested it after that. We did the pulls, we did everything like that. Everything was looking good, so we just kind of left it. And then the other thing that we did was we have our LSD in it, which helps as far as all that stuff goes. I mean, the LSD, it's a good thing. It helps lock the power between the two wheels. I don't expect that to have actually really gained any power. It just kind of helps put that power down. The other thing that we ended up doing was our Clutchmaster twin disc. Now we dropped 2/3 of the weight by swapping over to a lightweight flywheel, where we actually showed we lost 30 pounds off of it between the flywheel and the twin disc, which is a massive loss. I mean, you're talking 46 pounds of rotating mass in the back end of the crank, down to, we ran it at 17 pounds is what it weighed in at when we measured it. But those are kind of the changes that had happened. Those are the changes that we were measuring. I mean, it's been a year and a half since we went on the dyno. We are actually on more of a race fluids now. A lot of people don't think about it, but believe it or not, the type of oil you use and the type of differential fluids you use will actually alter those horsepower numbers. There's other people that have done these results. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them all over the place. But some certain oils, you'll actually see that on, back-to-back testing, they're showing 10 to, 12 horsepower gain just between changing from one new oil to another new oil. But we're just on AMSOIL Dominator for the engine oil. We're on Torco for the transmission. I'm not going to say that helped it because I don't know for sure, but we are on more of a race fluid. So that kind of goes ahead. That wraps up what we did. That wraps up today. We'll go ahead and we'll get back into working on the car this next week. Hopefully we can get some other things done. This next week we should have enough miles. We'll be able to do our fluid swaps. No big deal there. We'll be able to hopefully we can get the center console kind of back together. And then we've got some other things that we kind of want to button up and whatnot that way coming up. My OBD2 readers, I'm not that fond of where it's positioned. So I'm going to be redoing that, and hopefully you guys can get a good view of that. So see you again this next episode.